In this video, I acquired 2.5 long boxes of a lot of Spider-Man and some Venom. Welcome to the Paper Chase channel, guys. So like I said in the intro, bought 2.5 long boxes of Spider-Man stuff. So how did I come across this? One of the perks of my job is I'm in people's houses often right before they move. Now, after I do my job, if it looks like this is a place where I can market the comic business, I will do that also. This person had tons of D&D and anime and all kind of just good, great, nerdy stuff all over their house. So before I walked out, I told the guy, I said, hey man, I do comics. Do you have or know anybody that is selling a comic collection? So he told me yes, actually. His father, who had passed away unfortunately, did have a comic shop and still had about 2.5 long boxes of some books that were in Baton Rouge. I gave him my card, we exchanged information, and completely forgot about it. I'm talking about weeks, I think, if not maybe a month or two passed. And this thing was completely out of my head. So I get a call randomly from this guy saying, hey, I'm going to go get the boxes. Maybe we can meet up the next day. We set up a time. He had told me that they were majority 90s books, and he sent me some photos. Now, one of the photos did have an Amazing Spider-Man 252, which is the first appearance of Spidey's black suit. So definitely my interest was piqued. Condition on it looked, couldn't really tell. So we come to the agreement that Friday morning was the day, and I could only go to his house before 8 o'clock. So I'm waking up for 6:45 to meet this guy for 7 o'clock in the morning at his condo. So needless to say, I filmed nothing about going there or entering his house or any of that. I was way too tired. I had to really just concentrate on what I was doing and just making sure I don't offend this guy or the roommates that are trying to sleep in his house. So I get to his house and he tells me to come on in, and his roommate is still sleeping, so we have to be extremely quiet and all the lights are off. So he's got 2.5 long boxes in this very dark living room with a sleeping person that's about 15 feet away from us. And not to mention, there's like feral cats running everywhere. There's like, and people just take care of these little cats. So there's like cats running around. Very weird environment. So I pop the lid off of one of the books and I start flipping through, and I see a couple of keys, and then I see a lot of 90s. Keep in mind, I am not able to evaluate condition properly. I'm being rushed. It's dark. I can't speak loudly because somebody is sleeping right next to me. So this was an extremely kind of a rush job, which I wasn't a big fan of, because I could have really ended up screwing myself, not being able to properly evaluate and voice what I'm looking for. So I see a couple of keys. It's definitely worth picking up. So I take the keys times the number of books that I'm seeing and how frequent the keys were coming across. I throw a number at him and he says, absolutely, that'll work. He's like, that's way more than what a comic shop would have given me. He's like, I know firsthand. He's like, my dad used to run them. So we did the deal. The whole thing took about maybe 15 minutes. I was out with the books in the back of my car, heading to Starbucks and go home and see what the hell I got. Now, when I got home, I definitely was more awake, and I did film a little bit of flipping through the boxes, and I'll show you that now. All right, so what we're seeing here is basically everything condensed down into 2 long boxes, and we'll start to flip through just to kind of get a gauge of what we have. So we got some Amazing Spider-Man foil, some Web of Spider-Man, some Venom on trial, some Web of Spider-Man Animaniacs. There's a Spawn #9 first Angela. I got some Spock minor keys, first cover appearance. Anti-Hero magazine, Spirit of Venom, some Clayton Crane, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man covers, a little ASM, some more Spawn, some old TV guides, Star Trek TV guides. Look at him. Have you ever seen a happier man? These are actually in really good shape. I have not looked up the value of these. I don't know if they're worth anything, but I'll check it out. Some What If Venom had possessed the Punisher, What If Spider-Man kept his 6 arms, and we'll keep going. Spectacular. Some ASM, some Ben Reilly stuff here. Alright, Spawn 2, that was the first Scream, Sabretooth, Ren and Stimpy, some team up stuff, Spider-Girl, $20.99, We got a lot more Ben Reilly, some ASM, Iron Man, and it's just kind of getting a bit miscellaneous. Kind of all over the place at this point. But lots of obscure Spider-Man, random Spider-Man, the Max, some Image stuff here. Alright, box 2, we've got Nightwalker, whatever the hell that is. Not really sure. Some Ninjak. This is a kind of a cool cover here. On a Pale Horse. Very interesting. Innovation. It's the same company that did the Freddy Krueger series that is kind of low printed. So haven't looked any of those up yet, but I will. Got a little trade paperback, some Amazing Spider-Man later issues. We did have some Wizard magazines, Venom. There you go. That's a cool cover. Wizard magazines, some Web. Actually, that's way better. Some Venom Lethal Protector, full run. We've also got Rogue, her full run here, or at least most of it. That's a cool cover. Marvel Masterpieces. Spider-Man. Oh, got to get this one out. It's about that time of the year, isn't it? Yeah, got to put that one to the side. Some cool covers. Full Sabretooth run. Got some X-Men, and then we go into the Image stuff. Some got Pit, bunch of Spawn, and there we go. Some Spawn action there. 24, great cover. Trying to remember which. Spawn has a cool Halloween cover. I can't think of what issue it is though. 38. That's a little bit of a key right there, actually. Yeah, it's like a minor key. There we go. Look at that. Christmas again. Great. Awesome. Oh, a newsstand. Holy crap. Whoa. Did not realize that. Awesome. Yeah, let's look at the grade. Newsstand high grade, badass Christmas cover. Yeah, that's me all day. This is actually really cool. This is a Hulk 340 homage. Okay, so there you saw it. Pretty cool little collection. Guys, definitely a Spider-Man fan, definitely a Venom fan, and definitely collected during the 90s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys this stack of books here. This is everything that I picked out that I deem personally worthy enough to go to CGC to get graded for one reason or another. Now keep in mind some of this stuff is personal reasons, but then some of this stuff you might be surprised on how valuable some of these are that aren't typically talked about or sought after. But if you get them in the right grade, they do hold a lot of value. So coming up first, we have this cool book here. This is Fright Night 3D #1 newsstand edition. The only reason why I'm thinking about submitting this is, well, one, I'm a horror fan. I'm a huge Fright Night fan, and it's a newsstand, and it also is a 9.8 candidate. So this is definitely going to CGC and staying with me in the personal collection. We had a Web of Spider-Man #1, pretty high grade. This is not going to CGC. It was in the CGC pile. I reevaluated it. I just came to decide that it's just not worth it. I don't think it's a 9.8. It's probably like a 9.2 or something like that. So I think I actually will sell this book. We also had an ASM 346 classic Eric Larson cover. And this one here is a 9.8 candidate as well. So this one's going to go to CGC. Now these here I absolutely love. Amazing Spider-Man Adventures. This is from the early 90s. This series just screams pure nostalgia, and almost the entire run of this was in this box. This is the issue 12 of this run, and this is very high grade, going to go to CGC. Another one from this run, this is actually a bit of a key. This is issue number 8. This is actually the first appearance of the animated Spidey black suit. So this is the equivalent of like a Secret Wars 8, but in the animated version. Very high grade and going to CGC. We had 2 issues of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man run. 2 great covers of his, but they're both newsstand and both extremely high grade, so those will also be going to CGC. We had the Bride of Venom, first appearance of She-Venom. We had Spider-Man number 51, the foil edition. I already have one of these in a 9.8, but this is not one that you come across too often, so this is going to go out to CGC as well, and definitely a 9.8 candidate. We had this amazing little cover, Wolverine and Venom, super high grade, and a newsstand at that. So stuff like this, these great 90s covers in 9.8 newsstands, I absolutely love, and they do hold value, so I will definitely send this one in. Next up, Silver Surfer 100, awesome foil cover. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one in person, but on the back is some incredible Mephisto artwork there. That is really cool. So that's definitely going to head out to CGC. We have a Rogue number 1 high grade newsstand copy. We have this book. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, the Max. Super high print run, 90s book. They're a dime a dozen. They don't really hold much value. Well, this is the glow-in-the-dark edition. Apparently, this one does hold some value, especially in a 9.8, which this one looks like it could hit all day long. So keep an eye out if you're buying collections and you come across a 90s collection, you're going through the Max run, see if you have a glow-in-the-dark edition of number 1. You could have something there. We have a Ren and Stimpy, number 1. This is not my first copy of this, but this is a newsstand, and from what I can see, it is in very high grade. Of course, got to take it out the poly bag and definitely do a number of cleaning and pressing treatments on it. But I feel like these Ren and Stimpy number 1 newsstands at 9.8 could definitely hold some value. Now, this book can get kind of pricey in a 9.8. This is Marvel Age issue 114. This is the 30th anniversary edition of Spider-Man. This actually has a preview appearance, another preview appearance that I believe predates the ASM 365 for Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara. And this book in a 9.8 newsstand is definitely getting on the pricier side. So this is 100% a candidate for that, and we'll be going out to CGC. Okay, the last batch is some of the bigger books that we came across. Now let me say this, I did already reveal that there was an ASM 252. I ended up selling that on my Whatnot the day I bought the collection. A guy got it for $100. The grade on it was probably like a 9.0. And so just to kind of give you an idea, if you're not following me on Whatnot, give us a follow. I am not afraid to put some heavy hitting books up for auction. The guy definitely saved himself about probably $55, $60 by buying from me on Whatnot. But let's move on with it. We have got some Giant Size Annual number 21, Wedding Vows. I believe this is also the first appearance of Mayday Parker, newsstand, very high grade, going to CGC. Okay, next up we have another Spider-Man Adventures. This is issue number 9. This is the first cameo appearance of Venom in the animated series, and this is also a newsstand. These books in a newsstand are really something, in high grade, are really something to watch out for and send in. So I don't think it's a 9.8, maybe a 9.4, but still. I think these are definitely books to watch because as the Venom, as the ASM 300s and all these Venom keys get pricier and pricier, I do think people are going to start moving down to this. And this holds a lot of nostalgia value for a lot of people as well who were growing up during this time period. So look out for your ASM Adventures, high-grade newsstands. There's definitely some bigger keys hidden in that run. We had a Web of Spider-Man, high-grade newsstand. So these things in 9.8 hold a lot of value. It's also a personal goal of mine to get all of the anniversary editions in a 9.8 newsstand. So glad we got this one. This is a really cool cover. This is Spirits of Venom. This is Spirits of Venom, super high grade newsstand, gorgeous cover. I just think these are really cool. A lot of these too are probably going to go in a 9.8 pre-screen because they only make sense to Slab if they're a 9.8. So for those of you that don't know what a 9.8 pre-screen is if you go to CGC, if you pick 25 books you want to send off, you can set a bare minimum grade. Any book that's not a 9.8 gets sent back to you, and they only charge you $8 instead of charging you a full grading fee of $22. So it's a smart way to discern what you really should be slabbing and what you shouldn't. We got about maybe 5 or 6 more books here. This one is Spectacular Spider-Man number 99, first appearance of Spot, newsstand, high grade. I was on the fence about it, but you know the movie got pushed back, so I think we have enough time to send this one out. CGC's turnaround times right now are amazing anyway. Spidey 2099 number 1, but newsy all day long. I don't think it's a 9.8. I really don't think it's a 9.8. There's one spine tick that breaks a little bit of color. But still, even this book in a 9.6 newsstand is still pretty cool. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe with the right grader, it'll get a 9.8. Okay, we got 4 more, and these were some of the bigger books. Though this one, poor condition. We did have an Avengers Annual number 10. This is the first appearance of Rogue. This thing is probably a 5.5 to a 6.0. And yeah, real quick, just want to remind you guys to check out the descriptions in the link below for where I sell comics, Instagram, eBay, Shortboxed, whatnot. And also at the end of the video, if you thought it deserved it, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy this kind of content. This is one of my favorite books in the entire collection. This is Spider-Man Adventures, issue number 10. This is the first full appearance of Venom, the animated Venom. It is a newsstand, and it is extremely high grade. I advise you to go to eBay and to look up what this book fetches in a 9.8 newsstand. This is not a cheap book at all if it can hit that grade. It's super cool. It's an awesome cover. And I'm probably not going to sell it for a while at least. I'm probably going to keep it for a bit. But so cool. This is one of my favorite books in this entire collection. Okay, we have 2 more books. Of course, with all of this, what do you think's in here, right? What do you think? What do you think with all of this stuff? What else would be in this collection? I'll give you 3 seconds to mentally guess what else is in this collection that's missing. Of course. Secret Wars issue number 8, Origin of the Symbiote Suit. This thing is probably around the VF near mint minus range, pretty decent condition, and the final book, I have never run across this book yet in the wild. I've actually never held this book. I see it all the time in videos and online, but we had an extremely high-grade copy of ASM 361, the first appearance of Carnage. Awesome book. Glad to add it to the collection. High enough to go to CGC. And another thing too. So 2 things about this book. One, it's wrapped very well. This book often is not wrapped too well, and the back cover will wrap around the front and just doesn't look the greatest. And a word of caution to some of you guys who might have a copy of this and think you got a jacked up copy and you don't want to send it to CGC because it's going to get a poor grade. At the bottom of this book, you're going to see these tiny little tears here. This is okay. This is actually a printing defect that is in this issue that many 9.8s have. So if you see this book and these tears, don't think, oh, it's a low grade copy or a mid grade copy because of that. There's 9.8s with these guys. Don't let it fool you. And super excited to have it. Not going to be for sale until I come across maybe another one, and then the next one will go for sale. So that does it. That's the books that are going out to CGC. And as far as what I paid for the collection, I'll tell you what I paid. I paid a total of $350. Considering my time constraint, my visual limitations of doing this whole process in the dark, definitely a gamble on my part, but I definitely think it was a great decision. The value is there all day long. It was a great purchase for me, and the seller was extremely happy as well. So thank you very much, guys, for checking this video out. I want to hear your thoughts below. Hit the like button if you thought the video deserved it. Consider subscribing if you like this content, and we'll see you on the next one.